What is prosperity? A mental state, a functional attitude that draws to me an abundance of every great thing. How do I get prosperity? Expect it. Always ask for the highest and the best. Never doubt that it will come. What does prosperity look like? Look in the mirror. I am prosperity. Prosperity is my birthright. It is up to me to recognize my free access to an inexhaustible supply of all things good and desirable. I was born into prosperity. It is my inheritance as a child of the kingdom, a child of the universe. I have been given a body capable of doing almost anything. It is up to me to convince my mind that I can. I have been given power, dominion, and authority over everything in the world. It is up to me how I use it.
That's excellent.
Wow.
Look at me, I am looking at prosperity.
That's right. What I like that he did without me saying anything about it is he turned the word you into I. That is, denotes ownership. And even doing that intentionally demonstrates a shift in your thinking. You get it? Not lazy thinking, but intentional thinking. I'm talking about me, prosperity, and myself. You get it? And so I loved how he translated that and read it. Somebody jump in on prosperity.
I like how it denotes throughout that it is our responsibility to realize these things are there for us, and without that, it's a moot point, because prosperity ain't just gonna land on you like the snowfall.
My goodness.
You gotta engage it and get what's there for you.
Engage it, get what's there for you. That's good work. Speaking of that, James, we got a guy here, Dion, who's supposed to be coming tonight, and he's living in Ashton House. It's a pretty rough camp over there right now. Interestingly, the pressure that the institutions are going through because of the violence, the contracted halfway houses are going through it too. 180, Ashland House, Portland House, all these, they all clamping down, you get it, and trying to be more controlling.
So they're just using that too.
But just catching that this is the vision that, because DOC pays their, butters their bread. So they feeling like, hey, we need to make some adjustments. And it's really vicious in some ways. But I digress. But James, this brother needs some work, trying to get him some work. And I'd like you to meet him when he comes. He's out there stumbling. He was over there by Loring Park, trying to find his way here in St. Paul, brother, so you don't know the system.
Where's he at, Shane?
He was when he called last, Wayne talked to him, but he sounded like he was over by Loring Park to me.
Who know how to get here?
He don't know how to get here. But Wayne, check with Wayne quick down on see what he
gonna
told
see what he talking about.
Somebody else jump in on this week. Hey, Mr. Kevin, Mister, go ahead.
Wayne, where's the brother Dion at, trying to?
It says,
You guys know that?
because I read this
Where's
to
he
you,
at?
Okay.
and it says it's a mental state. I think that what you tell yourself is what you get. It's like, I feel like we gotta sometimes tell ourselves we're lovable, valuable, powerful, and important. And the reason why I say the mental state, prosperity is a mental state, a functional attitude that draws you an abundance of every great thing. That means you're looking at things good. You're looking at things positive.
Yes.
And I was telling one of my mentees, man, who cannot see anything good and see anything positive, even though he has a new car, got his own place. You did 12.5 years in a federal penitentiary. You got your own spot, job, and car, and you can't see good in this? You can't, in a relationship, and you can't see anything good? Well, if you can't see anything good, then how can you treat someone good? So this mental state, and I was thinking of myself saying, man, I see everything good. So I can't get with you on that, because I feel you should be looking at the good side and quit focusing on the negative. Prosperity, he can't see it. And if it's a mental state, then you have to see that. You gotta
Right.
You gotta live. You gotta tell yourself that. I mean, you gotta know it.
That's good. And just feedback to that is that your guy, his focus is materialistic, and that's why he's still empty, because you can be materialistically focused and competent, but then be spiritually bankrupt.
Yes.
And that's what he's wrestling with. That's why he doesn't feel like anything.
Right.
Because he's not fulfilled. And so
Right.
what you're really looking for in prosperity thinking is fulfillment that makes me feel like what I have means something. You get it? That mentality also ultimately turns on itself and brings drama to itself because it's not comfortable with prosperity as the mental and spiritual state of mind.
I should have recorded that.
Talk back to your boy. Hey son, take your hat off though. Yeah.
I'm finna go out and try to see if I can catch Dion. You know what he looks like?
Yeah, he's a little short guy, kind of round face.
Yeah, I'm trying to go and see if I can find him.
You know,
I'll see if I
big
can
old
find
smile,
him.
big old smile, yeah.
Hey, I'll give you a smile. Say smile for I can recognize him. I'm gonna walk. I'm
I
gonna
got
get up here
something.
driving.
Go ahead, sis.
Well, I think prosperity is, I'm not just now getting to live a square life, or you would say a life that's out of the limelight. And I'm going to work every day, and I just went past my tests for the drivers, and I'm feeling like prosperity. I'm feeling prosperity in my life right now because I'm having, even though it's a hard job and it don't pay all that good, at least I'm doing something to make changes in my life, and so I feel that prosperity is in my life right now.
That's my sis right there. She's feeling prosperous. That's good. She had to work hard for her permit. She studied all weekend for the permit test at the dining room table. That's my sister right there.
All right.
And then mess around and went over there and passed on her first time. I was proud of her.
That's right.
So when she got up there to get her permit, the people shut her down. You should have seen the look on her face. Because she was married before, and they had her in the computer as
One thing, yeah.
and so they turned her around.
Needed to see some paperwork.
Yeah. Hey,
What's up? What's up? Well, hey,
so she went and got her paperwork and went back to DMV, overcame that obstacle, got prosperity on her mind, and now she got a permit. She's looking for somebody's car to drive. It ain't gonna be no, I don't know. We might try to help her out or something. All right, somebody else go.
I got the mental state
You all right?
is
Good.
the definition of what we've been what I am looking for is myself. I've been waiting for whatever your quote is on that.
Here's my quote.
We are who we know.
I am who I'm waiting for. I am who I'm waiting for.
I am the help that I've been waiting.
Yep.
Nobody else is
Ain't
coming.
nobody coming.
Need the mental state to be there.
So we'll see.
Hey, Queen.
Yeah, don't be changing the subject because so what about you and your daughter and prosperity? Where's all that feeling?
Well, like I told you today, it's I'm down, but yet I talked to her today and
Yes, we have.
told her that to be positive and be grateful for what we got. Dad's gonna be there and we're gonna get through this.
So, Doug, let's dig a little deeper. So, what really is, so where did you stay?
She's staying with grandma.
Okay, that's mom's mom?
How y'all doing?
Stepmom, yeah.
Hey. Yeah, so does 16-year-old daughter staying with his mom's mom? And she knows him for her dad, huh?
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
Terrible for what I put her through, but it's an incentive for me to do good and be there for her, even though she's quite a distance away. I talk to her every day, encourage her and, and tell her what I'm going through and what I'm doing to get us back together.
What's her name, man?
Lily.
Lily.
Yeah.
16-year-old Lily. Give him a hand for that. So what we gotta do is we gotta figure out a way to get Daniel out there to Lily. And so what I'm thinking is that, wait, let me back up. See, you wouldn't even be able to talk with Lily or hear her pleas if your ears weren't healthy enough to hear it. If you was using or out there running the streets or whatever that was you thought you was doing, you couldn't hear Lily's cry. I just want you to know that you have become conscious enough to hear somebody else's moan. What that means is that you have come alive in your own spirit and that you can feel empathy for somebody besides yourself. Give him some love for that. And then we're gonna mess around and we're gonna get Doug in the van somehow. You know, he drives the van anyway on Friday and Saturday on Pop Delivers. I heard he got stuck last week. Because of, the van is big.
Yeah.
And if you don't push that gas slow, then you'll get spun. And I failed to give you the tutorial that you got a big heavy vehicle there, 2500, so it's top heavy. And it won't get stuck if you just are patient and you just ease your foot on that gas so them back tires don't dig in. The back tires dug in low and the weight's up front. I'm just trying to help you, Doug.
Well, we had to improvise, and the hill had to go around the block and come from the other way.
Okay, I see.
I didn't know you got stuck, man.
Yeah,
Was
yeah.
you stuck when I called?
Was that?
When I called? When I called you?
I was already stuck. I got stuck 3 times.
Oh.
So we made it, and I was like a fish out of water flopping around. I was gonna crack my head. I was all full of snow. But
Give Doug a hand for all of that. Oh, man. Cracked his head, full of snow, got busted upside the head with a napkin. Everything was all going on.
Yeah,
Hey, but you know what? Hey, good work. And on Pop Delivers, now and Annabelle sent me an email talking about putting in that tip thing now.
I was ready.
Did you show her what we had?
I'll show it to her. I did.
Show her to her what we have and see if that's sufficient. And she needs one for weekday and one for weekend so that y'all can get the tips. And then, this and that. So we good. But Doug, we're gonna figure out, pick a day when you want to go see us, spend a day and take her to the movies, man.
okay. I'm gonna try this weekend.
Try this weekend. All right, well, what day you want to be? Saturday?
Saturday.
Go ahead. Give Doug a hand.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing. Somebody else jump in while we're talking. Go ahead, sir.
What's going on, group?
What's going on, son?
So we talk about this kind of every week. So I'm on the other side of the obstacle now. Climbing up the other side of the obstacle now.
Okay.
And I'm gonna reach the plateau, or at least like the landing point where I can actually take a breath until in June. And I'm still climbing upward. So much like Ree, I didn't have to take my permit test, but I had to jump through a few hoops and stuff to get my license today. I passed my test today.
You pass it? Oh, man. Another licensed driver in here.
But it was more than that. I gotta share. I gotta
What
share the
happened?
journey. So yesterday, it was a journey. Yesterday I went down. Someone was just like, I should go to the DMV just to make sure I don't have any hiccups tomorrow. So I went there in downtown St. Paul. I waited and I waited and I waited and I waited. Anyway, she said, no, you're fine. So I paid, called, got my proof insurance sent down to him, had a copy fax here, and had a copy fax back to 180. So worst come to worst, I have the copy with me wherever, so I should be able to get to somewhere. And so I get down there this morning. My pastor had an elder from church take me to take my license test.
Okay.
And we're on, what was it? On the highway. He starts car starts shaking. The spark plug starts misfiring.
Right.
So we get there, and I'm trying to sum this up. We get there, and you know, I'm at the desk talking to the lady. She's typing my name, clicking and scrolling. She's like, "You never had a Minnesota license." I look at her, I look at this pants, like, you don't see all them driving that suspension? How you gonna suspend a license that didn't never exist?
Right.
That's a different ticket.
Right.
So if I didn't have the license, but anyway, they said, we don't have any proof that you ever had a Minnesota license or a permit. So you get you your permit. I said, whoa. And see, not only have I had a Minnesota license, but I had a Mississippi license also. But do you have proof of that? I'm like, that was 10 years ago. She's like, well, the only thing I can get you is a permit. So I went back, I talked to Jeff, and got me to a library. And I called Grandma McGee. I call her Momo, and she
You call
Momo.
Oh man.
I called Momo like 3 times because it was noon. Grandma don't watch a whole bunch of TV shows, but some days when she feeling like watching a Western or something, she's in it. I called her and she got me on speakerphone, the TV loud as I don't know what.
Right.
And I mean, I called her because I knew that the habits that I have, I got from her. That's number 6. The habits that I have, I got from her. I keep paperwork stacked tall from way back when, and I knew the grandma would have a copy of my license that I got when I was 16.
Right.
All I knew was the license number. So she said, hold on, put me on speaker. I hear her rummaging, opening her file cabinet. She got big file. When you do taxes, you have to keep those records for such a long time.
Wow.
So she's pulling the file. I hear that door open, slamming. She's ruffling through it. I said, all right, grandma, I don't want me to interrupt your stuff, so I'll try another avenue. I called my job because they pull driving records and stuff like that also. She's in the meeting, so I'm just like, man, all this. Grandma calls me back. And just started giving me a number. Hold up, here it is. Grandma, thank you, Grandma. All right, baby, you do what you gotta do, stay on the path. So I go back down there, I'm at the library, go double back to the library, go on Miss Sicky's website, print off another copy, send a copy to my email so I have a copy there too. Go back to the DMV. We have to stop at AutoZone because the shaking's getting worse. We had to exchange the spark plug, change the spark plug, remove the coil, and then there was a whole bunch of drama with that because AutoZone has tools, but they didn't have the right tools. But a guy walked up, a guy named Sam. He had a dog in the back. A guy named Sam walks up and I think he's just being nosy. But something about me says he's not just being nosy. And he just happened to have a full socket set in his trunk. And he wasn't just being nosy, he was being helpful.
Yeah.
So he got that and he was being helpful, but it's cold. He meant to come in and come out. He was out there so long, he came in and came out and was like, everyone was like, you guys are still here? And he looked at it as an opportunity to help, and he helped, got it done, and took over because Jeff was taking too long, and he just rinsed it on in and got it done. He gave us the wrong one, so we had to exchange that one. Then it's the wrong tool, we had to exchange that one, but he got it all done. So then I went back, and this is 2 hours. My appointment was at 10. This is 2 hours later. This is how it all started. 4 people canceled their driver's appointment, didn't show up for their appointments this morning. So they had all these availabilities and openings today. That don't happen. That don't happen. And so it was just one thing after the other while obstacles coming. God was just like, no, get out of his way. No, get out of his way. And it was just any way that I can look at it. A person could say this wasn't supposed to happen. For me, I know better. My higher power said this was supposed to happen because of all the ways he stepped in and cleared things out the way that would usually be enough to turn a person away.
Absolutely.
And I mean, so we get back to the DMV. I bring in all my paperwork. Well, you have proof of your Minnesota. I just kindly smiled and slid it over. Like, oh, I was gone for 2 hours, but I came back with what you asked of me. So, well, I have to double check. I take my driver's test and I passed, and it was just.
Oh man!
What a score! That's a blessing.
Yeah. Man, that's
All through the day. Yeah.
Roots, you know what I mean? That was a saga.
Yeah.
That's right. It was a saga.
It was like that, and I'm in it, and the whole time Jeff is really spiritual, and he was just upbeat, laughing, positive, and he got to the point where when I was taking at the front desk the first time, he was speaking to someone else there. He got them to offer their card for us, but because I needed my test, I needed my paperwork. That was no longer available. He was like, didn't get sad, didn't get depressed. What he said was, Jesus will make a way, and showed up.
Wow, that's good, brother. So what's your plan? Because you are now, Kevin, for those who don't know, got a little blazer over at the Pop House, has been sitting there waiting on for I don't know, like a month of Sundays. And so what is your plan for that car?
I just the agent approval now. Because and I have a little lease coverage. This is what I'm really doing together. I already have the insurance. I already have the insurance. I have the money put away for the new battery, so it starts up right away. But in order for me to transfer the title, I have to get that okayed and clear, because I don't want him to run his check and say that this car is in your name and you haven't got my permission, so I need you to go sit over here for a minute.
Yeah,
I'm not going to do it that way, but with everything else for him to say, well, I need you to get insurance. I got that. Well, I look in my system and, oh, you are valid. Okay, so just transfer the title. That's no problem. So I'm just doing the things that I can do.
Good,
so
good,
when
good,
the checks,
good.
I can withstand the check. Like you said.
Yeah. I got you. Hey, yes sir. Yes sir. Come on, man. That was a great story, man. I'm glad I heard that. I wouldn't believe it if you wasn't, it wasn't you telling it. You know. Somebody else. We got this. Yes, sir. We got this reading. Come on, and somebody jump in on this reading.
All right, so prosperity. So the third sentence. 1, 2, 3, 4, the fourth sentence. How do you get prosperity?
Right.
Expect it.
Wow.
I came home and I knew I was ready. I knew I was prepared, and I was focused.
Yeah.
And all I did was, well, I'm ready to set this thing in motion. And I just started moving. I just started working.
Yeah.
And I expected things to happen. I didn't expect them to happen so quickly, but I expected things to happen. So when they happened, it just kind of fortified for me my belief in what I give. Is what I give is what I receive. To me, that is what prosperity is.
So Ananias had a story. It's making me think about Jim. You know his story.
Yeah.
And I came out with a car, big old car. What was that car? A Grand Marquis?
2007 Grand Marquis.
Yeah, it was a big old joint.
Pearl white.
Right, and he gave a mentor gave him this car.
Yeah.
Coming out of Stillwater. He met him at a school.
Yeah.
Doing a presentation with some kids.
Yeah, you know, I do speaking engagements. I'll go speak and tell them, give them my story, tell them about my life, the ins and outs and everything, try to give them insight into what I was and what I have become.
Yes.
You know? So yeah.
So the guy's in there. Was he a principal or somebody?
He was retired already.
Oh,
He was retired from Northwestern University, professor. But he was going in to just apply for a principal job at the school because they had a vacancy for a principal at the school. He wanted to apply. She just happened to be sitting in the class when I was talking to the kids up there. What, Lake Forest Lake?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's way out there.
Like your speech.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
That's way out there.
See, good things. We talk about positivity. We talk about prosperity.
Yeah.
It's an attitude, a mental state. You get it? Now you got something to help your brother with. You know. What about you, Trav? Where was you at last week, son?
I was a little tired.
Were you too tired to call and say, Pop, I'm tired?
No. I took a day.
Then
I'll call next time.
thank you. Because then I was worried about you. Like, hey, is he cool? Because you was coming out of Thanksgiving and la-di-da. So I had all my feelers up. I would appreciate a phone call.
I understand.
All right, go ahead.
I think what it says about the expectations, I relate to a lot. I think that, expectations are kind of, for me, it's just like understanding the greatness in me and who I am as a man. I expect the abundance. I expect things to open up, but you got to put in that work, and I like what Ananias said about as far as the work that I've put in the joint. I knew in my heart, I could feel it, what was gonna manifest. I didn't know what, but I didn't know how, but I know the why. Once you know the why, the how and the what doesn't matter. It all just finds its way.
That's good.
And that abundance piece And that prosperity is something that I'm grateful for every day.
Yeah.
You know, every day I wake up, you know, just the opportunities I have and the ones that I'm gonna continue to come. But I have to just continue to stay focused and put that work in. You know, I've just been patient with it.
That's
You know, I can't rush it. I got like a month left. I get out in January.
Yeah. Give him some love right there.
It's been a long 8 months.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
at the same time, you know, just being disciplined, I know that, you know, this chapter's gonna close, but the next one I'm excited for. I don't know how it's gonna play out, but I have that expectation that it's gonna be great because the work that I put in and who I am as a man. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and that prosperity piece is, I think it's our birthright, like you said.
Absolutely.
It is ours for us to take, for me to take.
Yes.
But I have to just be conscious enough and be disciplined enough to maneuver through, you know, the obstacles like he was talking about. You know, because things are going to come up. You know, challenges are going to come up, mistakes are going to be made, and but it's just about persevering through that for me, and continuing to remember that about who I am and what I'm trying to do.
Good. That's a good point. Continuing to remember. That's a real good point. Somebody else jump in. Go ahead. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, when I hear prosperity, it's like what you put in. You know, what I put in is what I get out. I mean, I'm like today. I'm like, okay, I'm doing good. Phase 2, and I'm doing what I need to be doing.
Give phase 2 a hand.
You know what I'm saying? I'm standing on all the things I need to be standing on. I'm getting praises from the agent. I'm talking about, look, Duvall, look, thank you just for asking questions, you know, just that validation, you know what I'm saying? And
That's good.
and it makes me feel good, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm doing everything I need to do. You know, Shane said it back in the prison. He said, come home, watch DVDs, work, come back home, you know, and it plays in my head, get my job, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I do. I come to work at 6 in the morning, sometimes a little bit early, me and Doug. I got the whole bus smiling. They love me. They love me. You know what I'm saying? These people like, this lady told me once, she said, I just want you to smile. You know what I'm saying? Because I be having my little mask on. Just take the thing off and just smile. And this is a habit every day. She wants this. I'm like, Lord, have mercy, please. You know, but to make, I'm serious, y'all. So I go to work with this. I go to work with this every day. My manager, he be upset, mad, and I just go at him. And I make him smile.
Nicey.
In a good way, you know what I'm saying? But today, they called me in the office today. Yeah, they called me in the office today. I was really nervous. I'm like, oh, these people shouldn't have fired me. You know what I'm saying?
I gotta go to class.
They just,
I have class on Tuesday. I'll see y'all later. I'm serious.
You know, I want y'all to give Mike some love. Mike is working on his GED in this school long. You got your work in today?
Huh?
You got your work in?
Today, my daughter was sick last night, so I've been in the ER with her like all morning.
Okay.
I'm just doing what I gotta do.
Doing what you gotta do. But keep doing it. Don't, you know, just stay humble. Something's gonna open up for you.
Yeah.
Give him some more love. Keep going in prayer too. Go ahead, Duval. I want you to finish this because you didn't get to the part about.
and then, you know, when they called me in the office today, and I was like, I got kind of nervous. I'm like, you know how people get, I'm gonna get fired. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh Lord.
They calling you in.
They calling me. You know, the police finna come and get me out.
Right.
But you know, that's how we think. But in my mind, I wasn't even thinking like that. I said, you know what? Something's finna happen. And that man, this is the head man. He said, I really need you. I appreciate you. Everybody in the job talked about you. The meeting was about you because we had a half a day. We got paid for the half a day.
Right.
And the meeting was all about you. So we will welcome you to, is it up to you, whatever you want to do. We want you in the company to be a manager. You know, I'm like, never, anybody never offered me anything.
Did you say, Lord have mercy?
I said, bless church. You know, I started hitting the note on him, but I left it alone. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, and I didn't ask for this type of stuff. I'm just like, these guys been here longer than me. You know, in my head, I'm like, these guys have been here longer than me. But it's so beautiful that you can take the spirit, because I get up in the morning, I wake everybody up in the house, I be singing, and so they get upside, you know. But it's the spirit, you know what I'm saying? And that's where we go. We have to keep going with the stuff that, besides the, oh man, they be tripping. The good stuff too, you know what I'm saying? And you gonna get it, and that's how it is. And they offered me that thing. I go for the interview this Thursday, and they want to make me a official.
Give him some love.
Let me just say this,
Go ahead,
Jay.
go ahead, son.
This is the same man, the same boss that called him in the office about maybe 2-3 months ago and told him, you smile too much, you scare me.
Wow. He didn't know how to deal with your positivity.
Yep, he did. Yep.
He needed some more positivity in his life. You're changing them. But what I want to share though, this is such a powerful testimony.
Amen.
It's a powerful testimony. We've all, there's always had this coming. We had suffered some setbacks. But you don't drown because you're falling. You drown because you stand.
That's right, that's right.
And so he fell in, but he got himself up out of that water. And then all the way back to being elevated to a managerial position and offered a part of the company. You get what I'm saying? This is really major. Make him feel loved right there. I just want to share. I'm gonna let other people share. Go ahead, Trav.
I'm just, that's
You gotta take
hard
it
work
out.
that you've been putting in is paying off. And something that struck me about what you said when you was response, like nothing like this ever happens to me. Hopefully you can internalize this and start expecting these types of things to happen more often because of how you conduct yourself.
Right.
And that's gonna churn your perspective on things and how you view things.
Right.
Not everything's always gonna be a win and a slam dunk, but I think when you're able to really be grateful for that, but you deserve that. That's who you are, and how you're conducting yourself and your interactions with people. That speaks volumes. And the impression that you sounds like you have on the people you work with, from at the pop house to the bus to the job, I feel like it's right in line with the promotion. So,
Wow. That's good. That's good feedback right there. Kevin and then Eric. That's good,
I wanted
Trav.
to-
Especially from you.
I wanted to piggyback right off what Travis was saying, because I was in the City with Duval, and even sorry, I'm not putting nobody out there. Pop uses you as an example all the time of someone that was walking that line and then made a turn. It wasn't necessarily for his betterment. However, wherever you say it's not for a waste, it's for a purpose, and he used to relate that to how Joseph went through everything that he went through, and then how it came back around, and it turned itself into something even more powerful than it could have been, but than it was before. And I say this to you. I wanted to piggyback off what Travis was saying. It shouldn't come as a surprise, because what you said to me, not what anybody said about you, but what you said to me is when I was out there, I was doing this, I was doing that, and you showed me that based on the way that you were not only there, but the way that you are now. And what I want to do is, because let me level with you too. When Pop used to always say that you walking that way, you made a turn for worse, I related with that because, hey, look at me. I do that type of stuff. So what I want to use you to encourage yourself that instead of making that turn for the worse, you already know what's down that street.
Right.
And it only gets longer and longer of a wait and more of a process for you to get back on the right track. So with this opportunity that you have now, that it's coming to you without you even expecting it, but you should, because good thing comes to those who wait. You've waited too long. Now you should just keep on going. Keep staying on the right track, man.
That's good. That's good.
And I appreciate you.
That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. Go ahead, Eric. What
You
got?
know, I don't know if anybody remembers, but Devon, you were working for that dude at the electronics place, and you was running that. So, and then you say, nobody give me everything. No, ain't nobody gonna give you nothing. You gotta earn it. You earn that.
Yeah.
And then what I see personally is that your peacefulness and your joy and the happiness that come out ain't fake.
Yes.
It's not
Amen.
fake.
That's right.
It's just a natural
Yeah.
thing, and people gotta grab onto it or get away from it. So you just been elevated, I believe, even higher than you were before you went and made that turn down wherever you went. So you just got back into place, and now you're continuing on your elevation. So this is yours.
Right.
That's people see this,
Yeah.
and usually you don't know they looking.
Right.
So you're just doing what you did before you fell off.
That's good. That's real good.
That's what I remember, and I seen him. This was 2 years ago, and I remember this over 2 years. He said he did 2 years. Seemed like I just seen him yesterday.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So congratulations. I guess
some more.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Sit right here. Give Dion a big hand. We've been waiting on him. Yeah. Yeah, Dion just got home. And I'm gonna let him tell us about it. But we've been waiting for him. See, what I should have said is look for the man with the pretty red shoes on. But I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't understand, you know. But Dion, this is let's just turn this around. This is your welcome home cake. When anybody comes home from prison, we get them a cake and some ice cream. And so that cake is for you. Welcome home, Dion.
That's right.
Because we just want you to know you amongst your brothers here. And we got love for you. We got cake for you and some ice cream for you. We ain't got no money, but we got cake and ice cream.
Right.
Give him a big hand. So why don't you just tell everybody what your name is, a little bit about yourself and what you're trying to do.
My name, for everybody don't know me, my name is Dion Harris. I just done 8 years straight in prison. And my goals is to try to grow as a person. And you know, I was kind of ashamed at first because it took me to become 40 years old for me to finally get it. But going through all them ups and downs I just went through while I was in prison, I'm tired, you know, and I just want to surround myself around people that's going to help me to grow as a person. You know, a lot of people be ashamed to feel like they need some help because of their age. And it took me a long time to realize that. And also I realized that every time I try to do things on my own, I wind up in prison 6 times and stuff. So I just want y'all to know that, you know what I'm saying, I'm really serious about this pop stuff. It ain't no perpetrating, none of that. I just went through a lot of different trials and tribulations to get here from St. Paul, from where I'm from. But I want y'all to know that I made it, and thank y'all.
Oh yeah, come on. Anybody want to say something just real quick to Dion and we'll keep right on talking?
Dion, I know Dion, y'all. We was in Rush City, you know what I'm saying? So Dion was, I seen the struggle, and he was fighting it. Cause you know, it's like when you want to do right, you know what I'm saying? Everything come back at him, you know what I'm saying? So I'm glad you're home.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? This is real.
Absolutely.
You think it wasn't, but it is. We here. Look. This is us.
And James, this is who I was telling you about it. We need to try to, work with him on getting connected to some job opportunities. I thought we was going to be able to get him over at Pathways, but look like now y'all done slowed down a little bit over there right now. But that's cool. We're just routing another way. So before you leave, I want you to exchange your cell phone number here with Mr. James Reeves is right over here.
Okay.
And we're going to see can we get you doing something short term, because right now he's over at Ashland House. Short term, and then we're gonna we'll work at something a little bit more longer term after that. You know what I'm saying? So there you go. That's his number right there. Somebody else was in line to holler.
I got
Go ahead.
about prosperity.
Yes.
I look at this as a
Say your name, cause everybody.
y'all know Tony Campbell. I look at prosperity as my life. Win or lose, I've always been a winner. I kid you not, even in my darkest days, in my darkest doom days, I was a winner. I've been good at everything I have done. I'm knock on wood today. Prosperity is what I have done, has conquered the devil in every shape, form, or fashion in life. Literally, I heard a quote from Russell Simmons many years ago. He said, everything I touch turns to gold. Everything I have touched, I literally have turned it to gold. I have been a prosperity since I've been born. I honestly say, like I say, even in my doomest, darkest days, I've been a winner. This year, this prosperity is like, it reminds me of like the job I have now. My name is called more than anybody's name in this company. All you hear all day is Campbell. You got one up front. Campbell, you got an order coming in. And when my name is said, this company is said with a sense of pride. The job that I got is, it's like something I look forward to every day. It's 4 of us on the dock, and I kid you not.
Y'all turn it up.
We clowning. And these are Europeans, they're a bunch of hillbillies. Cool as a fan. Love me to death. I brings the light to this company.
That's beautiful.
With my Bear fan and Chicago stuff all over the place, they love me to death.
Give some love, give some love. This is what I tell Tony. As long as he don't talk himself out of this job, he gonna be good. And watch this. But he has got the spirit of entrepreneurship about him. That's powerful. You know, and I appreciate that. Hey, Will. So we got the house is full, and what we do is. I'm just glad everybody's here, man. And what Tony is saying is true. But it's harder for some people. He got it natural, but it's harder for some people, to latch on to it. Yeah. And the ones who get it natural don't appreciate it because they move around.
They've been doing.
So it's a beautiful thing, and we're talking about for those who don't know, we're talking about the acts of faith here. For those who haven't seen it, this is what we're reacting to. Who hasn't gone and wanted to go?
I do.
Go ahead, something.
See, for a long time, I didn't like to work. You know, I like to do the creative thing, paint, draw, use my creative side. Then I got released, and I brought that attitude and slowly changed it into a prosperous thought. Earn money to take care of yourself. I had to get myself off of GA, DOC checks, etc. I had to earn to pay my own way, and I had to learn that. And I was about 28, 29 years old till it finally sunk in. And so now, 38, opportunity is prosperity for me. It's a mental state. When I see opportunity, I smile, I get happy for it because that might fit me and my attitude towards working, attitudes towards financing, paying my bills. And so I think about prosperity and wealth and worth. The more I invest into wealth, the more I am worth. The more I invest into prosperity, the stronger I feel about doing the job that I need to do to take care of myself. And I feel blessed every day because I could see my future 6-8 months from now. When in the past, I was living day to day.
Wow.
I was living day to day waiting on something bad to happen.
Wow.
Now I wait on something good to
Give
happen.
some love right there. How are you doing on your job?
Excellent.
You're about what? It's about 3 weeks in now?
Yeah, I started November 12th officially, finished training in 8 days. The maintenance man still got a shocker look on his face today. It was 8 days.
How did they do it? That's beautiful, man.
Yeah, I was determined. I wanted to learn it quick, start my own shift, my night shift, my day shift, night shift, where I had to. That's what I wanted, so I had to reiterate and talk about how can I run this machine, how can I fix the alarms, what I need to do, what time, etc., and he was like, okay, he's nodding his head. I haven't seen him since. No problems, no maintenance.
That's good, that's good.
So I've been feeling good about it.
Man, that's an excellent testimony. Y'all blowing it up over here today. So, Dion, we're gonna let Dion come up to the table up here since you gotta cut the cake. Miss Olivia, did you bring him a knife? Oh, that boy got a knife in his hand? Oh my God!
No, I ain't had no knife in my hand.
I'm teasing. I'm pretty teasing. That's all right. What's that? Ain't mine. One piece. So we gotta cut some small pieces, you know, because everybody get a little piece and this and that. Look at it.
I don't know why I'm so nervous. I'm just feeling so positive. All that positive energy coming up out of here. It's been a long time since I've been around so much. I'm talking about. I'm just overwhelmed right now with just so much positive energy from everybody in this class.
That's beautiful, man.
I'm so nervous. I'm over here shaking and everything and stuff.
It's all right, man. Hey, let me say something. This is what I learned when I first got out and came to Pop Group. What I learned when he was teaching when I was in Lino Lakes. And this is what got me even sitting here today, and I've been in here since 2011, sitting in these seats, in these rooms. He said, people that come to Pop Group don't stay out of prison. They stay out of prison. And I've been coming ever since. Ain't been to prison. And I think that would fit you just well, because I heard you say you've been in and out of prison and you did 8 years flat. Well, if you don't want to go back to prison, stay coming. Stay with him. And because we the help you've been waiting for.
Ain't nobody else coming.
And this is it right here.
All right, go on, cut that cake, boy. A couple people got sweet tooth in here, you know. I got sweet teeth.
Sit around and put a cake on it.
So we just let you just throw a piece in there and pass it.
Right here. I know.
Okay, so now a couple things that that we got to do. And one of them is, let me introduce, we have a guest tonight. Excuse me, you're doing fine, son. We have a guest tonight. I forgot your name, say your name again.
Marty?
Yeah, Marty from
NPR.
NPR is here. They're working on a story about employment, and Bruce Stadheim, who is somebody to me, recommended that he come over here and meet us and this and that, and so we're invited him in. Give Marty a hand for coming by. Whenever Marty leaves, somebody escort him to his car. He don't, wherever his car is at, walk him to his car so he get back, he get back to his car. And then, so that being said, there's a couple things.
Could you pass me
A couple things, housekeeping things that we got to do next week, and then another thing that I want to bring up to everybody. Tia, I want you to step into the room because I want you to give a quick report. Two things that I'd like to see us working on. One that you already know about. One is the politically, legislatively, is no prison time for technical violations. No prison time for technical violations. And EWOC and other, Wayne, I don't know if that's right. One of them two and a few other organizations have been working on this. And there was a meeting relevant to that with Senator Sandy Pappas. She's a good state senator. And Tierra, you were at the meeting?
Yeah.
So can you give us a little brief overview about what happened with that meeting?
It went real cool. She was real warm and welcoming.
Good job.
She was basically saying that we were introducing. I was talking about different alternatives besides incarceration, restructuring, community service. You can find anything, or house arrest, anything besides incarceration.
Right.
And she was on board.
Right. Just for the tapes purposes and so everybody else understand that in Minnesota in 2018, 305 people have gone back to prison for committing new crimes. 305 people. That's as of about 3 or 4 weeks ago. But 2,777 people have come back to prison on technical violations, meaning they committed no crime, but they broke some type of a rule, and that rule then sent them back to prison. And mind you, at $42,000 per inmate per year, it's a poor use of taxpayer resources. So I just want to make it clear. Go ahead.
And yeah, and that's also true. And she said that she would be willing to support all of the things that we discussed about alternatives to incarceration. And she said the biggest challenge would be getting it past the head of the house, who happens to be in a different party than hers. But she said that we can definitely partner and work together.
Yes, Limmer is his name, and we need to engage him.
Yeah, me and IWalk and brother Wayne, we working on something. So I'm going next Tuesday to speak on behalf of that.
Let me just say, as you're speaking, what you have to present forcefully are clear alternatives to prison, not wishy-washy, but laying out a list, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here are the 5 sanctions that could work in lieu of prison that would still maintain public safety. And that's the language that you have to be using along those lines. And I'm trying to say this to you because I want you to use that language because public safety is critical.
Absolutely.
And so you get it to the extent that you haven't committed any crime. Actually, the public doesn't know you're going to prison for that. You get it? So that part is suppressed from the public, and then the other part then is highlighted. You get it? So make sure that the presentation about public safety is clear and laid out accordingly. Okay.
Can I say something?
Yeah, absolutely.
This is unrelated.
No, go ahead.
But I'm doing a community outreach for the Minnesota Museum of African American Heritage, and it's over north on Plymouth and Penn on the corner. Did you get with Tina?
I didn't.
Okay.
I've been feeling my best. Let's do it.
So it's a museum and it's full of history, our history from actually Minnesota, and it talks about a lot of pioneers and a lot of people that you would never ever know or hear about. And I want the group to come there. And then on Saturdays,
can you set up something where just Pop Guys can come as a group?
Yeah,
You know.
absolutely. But then also Saturday mornings at like 10 o'clock, they got this thing where black authors come in and read stories, read children's books to kids.
At the museum.
At the museum from like 10 o'clock to 1. So then y'all got your kids or something, they got food, everything. It's a real nice thing.
Well, give my hand for that. We can come back and visit that, but let's go back to the IWalk stuff and to the movement. You know, we've already met with county commissioners once. Wayne, you were a part of that. Is there anything that you want to report that Tier left out?
They're big.
Who's big?
The state, as far as the state goes, seems really big on doing reform. And as far as the
prison reform,
and as far as the county commissioners, they did have another meeting, and December 11th is going to be the big action with IWalk. So Pop, anytime he does anything, he throws out the name Power of People, the Power of People, and that's the big thing where they want to have as many people show up to the county meeting as possible. I believe it's a Tuesday.
Can you be clear?
December 11th, whatever day that falls on.
That's a Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
Yeah, so that's next Tuesday. What time?
It's going to be 1:30. About approximately 1:30.
Okay. So, you know, it's difficult for most of us to make that time, but to the extent that some can, please do, because you know, numbers matter in that dynamic.
They're supposed to be making an actual decision that day.
A decision about
what they're gonna do as far as stopping, you know, technical violations.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you all, this is really important. And all of the pop guys who are yet locked up, we talked about this last night in Lino Lakes. And these guys in Lino, many who were there on technical violations, were so enthused that we're involved in trying to help them, you know, and to stop this piece. And it is a discretionary challenge when you leave prison up to the parole agent's decision about rule violation versus anything that was that's laid out in statute, right? I even think, and this is some research that I'm doing, that it may be technically illegal for the state to send you back to prison on a technical violation. Daniel, just sit down, son. It may be illegal, but you know, we got to look at that. We got to see, because it may be in some ways that they have been operating erroneously and not really even know it, because down the line, that history, that legislation was laid out, nobody's aware of it, so we're doing some looking. Go ahead.
It's really funny how that happens, because with me kind of working on the Fed side, they don't send these dudes back on dirty UAs and missing a UA or not checking in. You know, they do sanctions, like you said. But unless they do a crime, they're going to discuss the situation. If you use and get a dirty UA on a narcotic, they're going to send you to treatment, outpatient 16 weeks. You're not going back to prison on this little foo-foo stuff like the state do. They're not doing it because they ain't got time for it. But if you commit another crime, I just learned today, if they get 4 dirty UAs, 4, they may have to go in front of the judge. Back in front of the judge. You don't want to go back in front of the judge, but that does not mean you're going back to the penitentiary. They're not doing it. And I'm looking at this. I'm like, this is fantastic. And if they're doing that on the Fed level, you would think they would do it on the state level, but that's the difference that I've learned between Fed and state. They operate differently.
Yeah. And so that's an important point to make, and the Fed wasn't always that way. So this, what you're reporting right there, is some elevated thinking on their part and some fiscal responsibility now, where fiscal irresponsibility before was present. And they are actually committed under Obama and the Attorney General that whose name I can't call.
Eric
Holder, who instituted the practices that you're talking about. And so this is really powerful. And now, in some ways, maybe we have an opportunity to make some change here in Minnesota that would keep guys home, connected to family, connected to job. You know, the ankle bracelet, which is effective use. It's much cheaper to use now. The technology is developed to where an ankle bracelet doesn't cost what it once cost to utilize it. It's uncomfortable, I get, but it's better than going back to prison. You know what I mean? So this is some of the stuff that we're working on just politically in this year of 19 and last of 18 and all of 19. To the extent that we can support that meeting on the 11th, that will be the same day we're going to have guests here that night. Let's try to make that. If you're not working, then downtown at the Hennepin County 24th floor where the Hennepin County Board of Commissioners meet, that's where we would like to have you showing your support. Couple more things. One of which, let me see what time it is.
What day is that?
Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
What time?
What time is it? 1:30. Yeah. So, go ahead.
I got a question about that, because I have Tuesdays off, like I'm here in the afternoon, but for some, I may just be speaking for myself, but I think it's a couple of us in supervised housing. Who is it that we can say that, oh, we're going with the power of people, and my agent comes here, I know Shane, and I didn't see no one there who resembles Shane. Or I know Dr. Berner, and I didn't see no one there who resembles Dr. Berner. Is there is Larry going to be there? Is Wayne going to be there? Who's going to be there that we can say, this is your point person that will be there supervising me, And besides, because what I'm running into is, despite the fact that I have a GPS locator more accurate than Google, they still want to know where I am. And why that's a question, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But it's a question, and it's a question they don't want me to answer.
Right. Well, you know, Kevin, let me just say, I appreciate you wanting to be involved. This is one you need to sit out. Right now, while you're on this level that you're on of supervision, what you need to be doing is going to work, come back, watching your movies, right? And utilizing that strategy and moving the level along. Let them get focused on someone else who's not being obedient to the rules, because we already know the outcome. So right then, I wouldn't want to risk you and your freedom to support this. We got enough people who are working or who can commit their own schedules to go down there and speak highly. There's one or two of us in the room, that's power, right? So where two or more of us are gathered together, so let's bear that in mind. But give him some love for wanting to come. Your time is coming for this, and we need you. The leadership skills that you have naturally at one point are going to be able to be elevated and utilized to their fullest extent. Not right now. Just be patient. You're doing good, right? For those who don't know, Kevin got his driver's license today. Y'all wasn't here, but give him a big hand for getting his driver's license.
I got a comment.
Go ahead.
So you mentioned about when you said that some things may be illegal. You know, I heard a quote from one of the wisest men that ever walked the earth. He said, "A fool never acknowledges his own ignorance." Now, if the system is doing what they're doing, a fool never knows that he's doing wrong. So, if it's illegal, which likely it is, by them being fools, they don't know, because a fool never acknowledges his own ignorance.
Well, hold up now. So here, here's how it works, though. Your point is well taken, but the truth of the matter is, some of this stuff has got so much history to it that nobody has gone back far enough in the history and researched it. You get it? To find out what is legal here, what is true and not true, relevant to imprisonment for technical violations. This isn't the first time that it's happened. It's happened before, and what we need to do is look at precedent. You get it?
Yeah.
Legal precedent to discover what is or isn't legal. That's one thing. If it is legal, it's still wrong on its face, because it tears away at the resources that could be provided to schools that are struggling, child care, other things that are where communities are struggling. That money could be there. I'm talking about, listen, it's about 11 or I'm guessing here, I think it's something like 31, I'm guessing, but if you just take 2,777, you multiply that by 42,000, you're going to come up with a number so big you can hardly, and this is what the state is spending for housing guys who haven't committed any crimes. Wow. So in some ways, even exposing that to a larger public, but talking about it intelligently so that community public safety is always kept at the forefront. This is what people want to know. Am I safe? That's not a bad thing to want to know,
brother.
And so to that extent,
that's 116,630,000.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a lot of money.
Jesus.
So then if you take the 305 people times 42,000, those people committed a crime. Give me that number. And then you're going to see the huge difference between people who are committing crimes and people who didn't do nothing. You get it? And what's being spent.
That's 12,810,000.
Well, there's the difference. You get it? There goes the difference right there.
Wow.
And so those are the people who actually committed a crime. You get it? And if you commit a crime, you're on parole, you know what? You need to go sit your behind down. But to the extent that guys haven't committed new crimes, is to that extent that we should be able to negotiate The second part of this piece is the whole notion of life sentences. Now, let me just be clear. I've been working with offenders who have committed homicide for over 15 years now. I haven't met one yet. I mean, I could say it's been 30 men who I've worked with. I haven't met one who hasn't admitted remorse.
Wow.
Now, I'm not saying that there are some who don't. I just never met them. I haven't met one. And I really have to process. I really have to process where I stand on that. Because, you know, wrong is wrong. But I landed here a long, long time ago. I can't take back what has happened. But what we can do is make the situation better as a result. And to that extent, I think POP has helped to make the state of Minnesota a safer place. Now, that being said, men in Minnesota who are serving life sentences really don't start seeing the parole authority with any real degree of release until 30. The few people who have come out under that have been exemplary, and there are some, and they've been exemplary, right? The old law prior to 1987, I believe,
89.
the men were 89.
89.
Men were seeing paroling authorities at 17 years, and then they were beginning to work on stuff that could, in fact, be 20 or so. But now that is 30. Wow. Now the percentage of reoffense for homicide is less than 1%. So you have a really low likelihood numerically. And what drove that number up to 30 from 17 was really the crack wars and the crack epidemic. The crack epidemic, that was a crime, and you were sick and you were a criminal, and you were punished by overt incarceration. Unlike the opioid epidemic that is currently taking place, where this is a public health issue, you need treatment.
Right.
I don't hear nobody in this room.
Right, amen.
So while we appreciate those people who are struggling with what they're struggling with, because all of us in here are struggling. Nobody's above it. The truth of the matter is, though, you know, there ought to be, I think, a negotiation between that 17 and that 30. Where guys are beginning to see a way clear, you know, at 20. And so there is some movement on that in other states. Again, the movement hasn't been because of human rights issues. The movement has been because of the cost of incarceration.
Wow. Yeah.
And so we have to take what's on the table and try to utilize that to our best advantage. And so the two things that we want to be working on and supporting is that there's a negotiation that takes place. And these are, you know, a capital crime there's some punishment associated with that. We're clear. But can we negotiate that piece out in a way? And I think those are the two things that we're trying to be interested in. We may not be the leader in all of it, but we certainly want to be supporting those who are talking about being smart on crime. Yes, there's a smarter way. Yeah, there's a smarter way to do some of the things that have been done. So I just want us to be aware of that as a group and be thinking about that as we go into this year of 19. And then I want you to also be thinking about how do you finish up your year individually. Think right now just to yourself how you started out 2018. Just go back in your mind and reflect on it. Deanna, you started it in Rush City, huh? Think back in your mind. But then think, how do you want to finish this thing off? Because the way you finish 18 is the way you're going to bring 19 in.
Right now.
And you want to finish your year as strong as possible. Try to get your loose ends taken care of. If you got phone calls that need to be made, make them. If you got bills that need to be paid, try to address them. If you can't pay them all off, just put something down. And let people know that you're serious about taking care of your business. Who got something on that?
Well, it's ironic you mentioned that because prior to me coming here, I went down to Turning Point to drop off my rent. Lo and behold, no one was willing to come to the door. So I'll take it tomorrow.
So you spent up all that rent money? No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I got pause with that. Just know it's like what you say, just paying your debt. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a beautiful thing for you can just sit up there and say, because I ain't never thought about putting insurance on myself, thinking about what, being selfish, period, about my kids and what they kids, and I sat down yesterday and did the application.
Wow.
So I'm waiting on the lady to come by, do the test and all that stuff. And I feel good about that, you know what I'm saying? So that's this giving something back.
Well, we should have turned you on to Manny. You didn't
That's
know
where I went to.
Oh, you went to Manny?
All right now.
Look, we're doing business in here. Yeah, Manny's our insurance guy here. Give Manny some love. Oh, I'm so proud of that, man. How did that feel for you, Manny, to do business with?
It felt good. Not even in terms of the business, but to see somebody else who within our community, or people of color who's taking the initiative and wanting to do better for themselves and their family. So
wow,
which is what this is about. So.
Man, give Duval some more of that love.
Manny got to speak to my mom too. That she was on him.
Was she on him?
Oh, she questioned him.
Right. What you doing with that boy?
Hold on, look. She was on the speaker. Hey, look, well, what about this?
Yeah.
What about this? And he was like, because she was speaking in tongues.
Yeah.
So he let her hear and understand. You know what I'm saying, what was the cause about everything. So she appreciated him when he got, get his number and make sure you give it to your brother.
Oh, wow.
So we can get some insurance for him.
That's good.
Because my brother got cancer and they ain't saying no, he's just trying to get he got an operation coming up as far as just cutting this stuff out there. Because the man sitting around here like he ain't got nothing.
Right.
And he happy. And that motivation from the little brother was myself. Hey boy, you better get it together. You got them kids out there, You got to get this insurance, and ain't nobody finna keep on doing this, and you want to just hurt yourself. So that motivation that he gave me, and I'm giving everybody, please get some insurance. You know what I'm saying? I feel good about that because this week I have felt much better. I went to go grab me some suits.
Oh.
Tailor made.
Tailor made.
Look. I felt good.
No wonder he got that promotion, you know what I mean? Hey, Don, what you got back there?
Oh man, I was just listening to what all the brothers said. I like the positivity that's in the room, I like that Kev says what he says, the young brother Travis, you know what I mean? You guys are the future of pop, and if your head's not in the right place, the pop's gonna go somewhere else, really left, right? And we depend on you to keep your head together. It's not so much a battle with the PO. Dion, it's not so much the problem with the halfway house. The problem is within you. Get what I'm saying? As long as you recognize that you determine what's gonna happen to you, you know what I mean? You're gonna be fine. I'm glad that you're 40 years old and you came to it. Some people never come to it at all.
Wow.
You know what I mean? But you came to it. You're there. We consider you a pop guy, whether you know it or not. You know, I came and got a pop guy. I didn't
Yes,
come
sir.
and get anybody. I came and got a pop guy.
Pop down 3, 1, 2, 3. Hey, man, dude was lost. And Donald went down and found him. Where did you find him at?
7th and Hennepin.
7th and Hennepin. Wow. It's all going down. It's all going on.
They had me going, people said me going like 9 different directions, but God is good though. God is good though, because he made me, he pushed me through it.
Wow.
And people say to push me through it, then I can get pushed through this situation and being in this halfway house.
Yeah, and so, go ahead, Kevin.
You got a smartphone on your hip?
Huh?
You got a smartphone on your hip?
No, it's broke. I got my other phone.
Alright, well.
You can't have one in the halfway house.
It's still all the same. I'll show you before we leave how to get around. So when you lost the number you can call, I'm lost. And that'll get you where you need to go.
Wow. Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. Yeah. And you know, I don't know that number, man, so I don't remember. Get brain as you going You don't need the number.
The problem with Pops though is he loses his phone.
I know, I just been having it, man. You know, my phone it's so, man, it's like that. It's a great phone. It's slippery as all get out. And then you just sit there anywhere that slide to the left.
Hey Shane, I want to say this last thing before you go. I talked to his brother Herb Kelly. He's a lifer up in Lino Lakes. He went to the board like in April of last year, and they gave him a year. So April of 2019, he's coming up. His year will be over.
Wow.
But I talked to him a lot, and he done close to 30 years. So it's time for him to come out of there. Wow. And I told him that he could come to Pop, you know what I mean, and he can become a member of this. And he's been in some of the classes, you know that. And he done read the books and did his prior work, and he wants to be a part of it. So I stay close to him and I talk to him about everything. You know, his girl goes to my church.
Oh, okay.
And so, you know, that's an added incentive to, you know, and we talk a lot.
No,
just recently,
Herb is a graduate.
Yeah, he's a graduate. And recently, I just got on this JPay tab so I can just email him when I want to.
Wow.
And talk to him. But what we're doing here is setting groundwork for the people that's coming after us. Not just the lifers, but all the people that are coming after us that's sitting in this room. We have a responsibility to pull them on,
That's good.
talk to them in a real way, show some transparency, be vulnerable, tell them what happened to you, you know what I mean, bad or good, you know, so they can learn from us. And that's what we are. That's Pop.
You know, last week, and I'm going to touch on this only briefly, just because it was such an important topic, and I think everybody got blessed because of it. But Esau, it was you and your situation with your young lady friend. So can you help us know, how have you come to grips with that situation within yourself?
You said it very specifically, respect and listen. And that's what I was respecting, but I wasn't listening because I didn't understand, because I was understanding she didn't want to be happy, and that doesn't make sense to me. And so
because you're assuming that being with you is going to make her happy. The only
I know it's going to make at least me happy. And so we just texting no more.
Right.
So that's what we keep. I'm respecting her boundaries. That's what she said.
Yeah.
And she said, just when it happened, it happened. I'm like, but I'm pull out all my school paperwork on the 24th. I'm paying at $1,400, and I think on the 5th I'm going back to school. So I won't have time anyway.
There you go.
My day's gonna be solid booked, and so that's why I'm just shifting focus.
And so
stand on with my agent, communicating.
Excellent.
Working my job real good. Getting prepared to go to school in January.
Excellent. And so, you know, we had one little donor, this young lady and her husband, every year for the last couple years, they've given us a little check that they wanted us to use to promote education. Yeah. And so we've been able to send guys in school, in prison. Each guy in prison got like $200, last year to further his education. And $200 goes a long way in the prison for credits. These guys are getting, you know, a lot of credit.
Of course.
And so Esau is getting some of it this year to help him get back into MCTC. You know, and it's just a small, you know, it's already gone. You know, all the people are already spoken for. But it's really a beautiful thing to be able to administer that, you know, that blessing. When we have an expectation, you go down to MCTC, it's not about playing, it's about taking care of business. Give him a big hand. Tierra's getting ready to leave. We got with his son. Bring your son right here. Bring King, just so we can see him. King Mason, we love you. It's good to see you. Give King Mason Tierra's son. I want to just acknowledge you in front of the group for the efforts you've been putting in publicly and politically to have our voices heard when some guys who would want to come can't do it. They're at work and this and that and meeting other responsibilities. You've been faithful over that. You've been doing a good job, man. So we're proud of that. Keep it up. All right? Also doing a good job with your sons. All right, we love you, man.
Hey, King, I clicked that little thing you wrote to me about God. I keep that in my prizes.
Wow.
Ken,
that boy's
when you gonna come back and play some more bass synthesizer and guitar? Is what I really want to know. You made my day, man. Having you dudes around, that's golden to me.
Oh, they was on your plate. That's right.
King playing bass synthesizer lines.
Wow.
Guitar.
Give him some love. He tired.
Hey, Pop, I want to
Go
check
ahead,
in, man.
Calvin, go ahead and check in.
I'm kind of struggling, man. Y'all know I lost my brother. His wife wasn't being favored to him because I went over there. You know, I told you I need to move my truck. Man, I go over there. She done flattened all the tires. On the basis of, you know, my brother gave her the escalator and the bed or whatever she wanted. My other brother was a power attorney, so he said, well, Calvin, since your truck went down, I'm going to let you use the car. I'm not trying to go to the old me. The old me be like, man, when you see her, just tear her stuff up, you know. That hurts, man. I mean, it hurts me because I struggle all through this coming home, looking at my brother being sick. Well, he's gone now, you know, and that tells me, well, since he's gone that way, I got to find the right way to go too, you know. And I'm hurting right now. I was sitting here listening to everybody, you know. The prosperity for me is I like to have empathy. Being able to see somebody else's pain and knowing they're going through something. Today I'm just sitting here like, I need to be at the group.
Wow.
I'm hurting.
Wow. How can we help you, brother?
First of all, just keep me in prayer. Don't let me turn to the old. You know, everything's for me right now is going down. I don't have a way around. I told my brother, I said, just drop me off to the group, man. I had to get back to St. Louis Park. But at the same time, I know I need to be somewhere where people loving me.
Yeah.
And everybody in here been loving on me.
That's right.
And I appreciate it.
Oh, my God.
I sat here today knowing that I'm a better person.
Yes, sir.
The hurting part is that, you know, why would you flatten my tires over something that I lost? I lost my brother. You know, even though you're supposed to be his wife, to me, a wife would come see you being put in the ground. She didn't do that. That was another hurt for me. And I got it on I called the police, you know. Normally I don't call no police. I be the police myself. As me coming through here, learning new stuff, I don't have to. I got to police myself in a way of making sure I stay in order.
Right.
And right now, man, I don't have no car. Everybody know I'm doing pretty good, but on the other side, it's the inside that's hurting me right now. Today, I just want the group to know, man, if it wasn't from y'all, I'd have been back to prison.
My Lord.
There's something about this group, man. Just support me so much that I have to show up.
Amen.
Even though when you hurt, you got to come in.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you guys going through something, man, it's hurt. Just come in here and somebody will feel you. Right. And I know everybody in here know that. Yes. I've been doing what's right. I haven't been back to prison since 2017. Mm-hmm. And I think I did a real good job of staying out this time. Yeah, brother. You know, we all have numbers on that paper, man. I put my number on there. Sometimes I just need some people to talk to. We have attention to want to touch everybody, but sometimes we don't.
Yeah, that's good.
And there's nothing wrong with it. It's just we got to be a little bit more alert to what's going on with each and every one of us in here.
Boy, that's a good word. That's really a good word.
And today, you know, I want y'all to look at me like, you know, okay, this guy here is struggling, but he's still coming in.
Yeah.
He's coming in and he's putting his stuff out there. Sometimes we don't put it out there. Then we go do some other stuff, you know. And it's been a struggle for me since like 3 weeks ago. But
so let me grab you. So let me. Does anybody know where your little hoopty is that he can get so he can ride? He need to be riding, you know. And Calvin, do you have any money?
Well, what I was planning on doing is just cause my car paid like $4,000 for it. But I'm gonna let it go for 15 just to try to get me another car. I don't know nobody want to buy a car that have a transmission out of it.
Right.
But the body and everything is in mint condition on that car.
But I didn't ask you none of that.
I don't have enough money yet.
Okay. So, but I mean, do you have $500? Yes or no? It's a yes or no question.
Yeah, I can get it.
So that you know, I want y'all just be looking, you know, around, you know, see if there's a little something around. Really, I checked it on eBay thing, you know, and you can still find the little $500 or $600 cars, so you can get around and get that car parked somewhere, get another little vehicle so you're moving. And then figure out what you want to do, if you're going to junk it or salvage it or something like this here.
Well, the man at the salvage yard made me mad. I wanted to slap him. He talking about he'll give me $150.
Right,
man, you crazy.
Right.
But you know, that's how they do. That's how they make their money.
So I mean, you know, and then the other thing is, you know, for you to do your research and figure out how much does it cost to get a rebuilt transmission for that car. That's what Wayne's transmission is out. We just trying to help him. Yeah. Same thing. Figure it out. You know, get some idea, get some numbers, get some data on it. Don't just be
Amazon. What kind of car is it?
It's a 2005 Trailblazer all-wheel drive. And see, that's the only problem is that I can't find an all-wheel transmission.
First things first. It's a lot of stuff out here. A lot of people got all-wheel drive. Not just you. You know. So look, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna sit down here and offline try to see what Cal can do, what his resources look like, and what's the best move on the table, either fixing the old car or trying to get another little hoopty just so you can move around. Because you're still staying out in St. Louis Park, right? Go ahead.
I got an inside plug at Ace Auto. One of the top dogs down there is one of my clients. I get parts under the table. You give me the name, the year of that vehicle, I can research that part at Ace Auto and get it for you under the table.
Well, then
So
give
give me that
him.
information.
I've been to Ace. I know you're talking
My
about.
guy.
Give him the
Mike,
name.
I mess
Big
with
Mike.
Mike.
Give him
Big
Mike like
I
this
mess with him.
See, now Big Mike is in the group now. I don't know Big Mike, but y'all do this offline. But Calvin, just want to say to you, son, you know, 1 second, son. Go ahead, Trey.
No, I just, you know, that's a lot of pain. I feel the pain, man. You know, it hurts me, man, to see your brother hurt. But one thing that I like that you said, you know, just the vulnerability I respect. You ain't giving your power up to somebody else as far as going down to that level.
Right.
You know, and I think that you've been tested a lot, whether you said about the dude at the junkyard, this girl slashing these tires.
Your brother.
You know, it sounds like your fuse is real short, but yeah, you haven't stepped into that realm
That's
yet.
good.
You know, and I just want you to realize that, and that's what I realized in your, and you opening up. You know, and I just, I love you, man, and every time, you know, for the past 3 weeks plus, you have been, you know, and as part of my responsibility, I can definitely start checking in on people more.
That's good.
You know, and that's something that I know.
That's good.
Thank you, man.
So Cal, we're gonna talk offline here and figure out what it is. Wayne, you can kind of help him a little, do some of this research here. We can figure something out. Talk to Big Mike or whoever, Little Rick, everybody. But next week I'd like for you to be on time. We got it's an important night of just pop guys and girls only, women. No guests next week, all right? All right, so let's right here, check out of here. We're gonna pledge out.